and to try to make you feel like a victim and say, "Oh man, see, brother, they lying to you, man. You know this, that, and the third." And if it may feel good to you, it make you feel important. The Israelites do the same thing a lot of times as well. They'll try to make you appeal to that type of stuff, like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm black, I'm important, I'm this, that, and the third."
That's
And
actually what drew me into that rabbit hole. Like,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it
it'll
do
do
like,
it.
oh, you're the chosen people of God. Like,
Yeah, it'll
See,
get
that's what
all
you.
this is for
every
gold.
It'll
And,
get you.
that's
And
what
you gotta be
it
careful.
did.
that's how they get such a loyal following, man. You know, when you tell someone that they're the chosen group, you know what I mean? What did Adolf Hitler tell the Aryans?
Aaron, yeah, they're the superior race and all that. So that's what they're telling. They'll buy into a hook, line, and sinker, and that's what they do. They do the same thing a lot of times to black people when it comes to that. Like, oh, this is for you. This, you're this, that, and the third, or we really Africans, and you got other groups saying, like, no, we're the Aboriginal Americans. We're the original Americans here. We've been in this land this whole time, and there is so much stuff, man.
Basically, my question is probably gonna be a little bit different. I kind
What's
of
up,
was
bro?
hoping Brother Josh would be here for it too, but like my question is more so for like, as like the black community, like going into the Bible isn't always accepted due to the fact that like a lot of African Americans like to say, like my cousin, for instance, like when we were slaves, the only thing that let us read was the Bible. Why do you think that?
Well, I mean,
And
he's wrong because they wouldn't even let them read the Bible.
yeah, but then he would bring up a verse that was in the Bible that basically was saying, I think it's in Ephesians, and it was saying like slaves obey your earthly masters and respect and fear them as you would God. So like I'm kind of like, I believe it was somewhere in Ephesians 6. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly where,
Now
but
the
like
question is, what are we called? What are we called? What does Christ calls us?
his servants.
His servants. But you know that word servant can also be translated to slave.
Yeah, that too, but it says obey your earthly masters.
Well, a lot of the times that specifically, I don't know the context of that. I will get Brother Josh for you later, but I do know in like the Old Testament, a lot of times what happened is you can willfully sell yourself into slavery. So let's say, and you see this like through a lot of ancient cultures. Let's say I owed you $500, which back then would be a lot of money. It's like, dang man, I don't got the money here. I'll sell myself into slavery for you for 5 years to pay off the debt, right?
Right.
So I'll pay off the debt for you. So me working for you is me paying off the debt.
Right.
So that's different than the slavery, like, going up and kidnapping people and forcing them to work. And then also it's like biblical slavery, like is a lot different than today's slavery. You feel me? But I think Antoine, he said something. Let me get Antoine up in here. But let me get
But I do
Antoine.
know like Christianity was pushed on like, and I'm not advocating for this. Like I'm not here to debate it or anything. Like because like I'm not gonna lie, you kind of made me like open my eyes and actually start
Well, we got to
questioning
figure out
things that
where did
I've
Christianity
been.
come out of?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Where did all the stuff in the Bible happen? What area did all the stuff in the Bible happen?
Israel, Egypt.
And what's that close to? Ethiopia? What is all that close to?
Oh yeah, Africa. Yeah.
So you're telling me something that came from Africa is created? Like I'm not saying you said it, but a lot of people say that that's the white man's book. So you're saying something that came out of Africa
Yeah, no, yeah. But that's
is
my question. Like, I don't agree with it. Like, because I've been actually like tuning in to you guys and Brother Josh. I've been watching your lives. I do security, so I sit there and watch your live stream. And but it's like that my cousin hit me with all this like last night. Like, boom, like you're following this, but Christianity was the only thing that they pushed on us in slavery. And then he hits me with this from Ephesians, and it's like, oh, okay, wow.
here. I got you, brother. I got you. Antoine knows. What's good, Antoine?
Yo, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Doing
What's
good,
up?
man.
What's
Doing
up?
good.
Peace, peace, man. Yeah, man, that's a great question. I'm glad you invited me because I want to get your reaction to something as well, JiDion. But yeah, man, brother, Breezy. that argument, you hear that a lot of times from people, especially I call it the one fish, two fish, kind of arc of spirituality. You get that for a lot of those Egyptology type people, or those Pan Africans, or Black Power type people, and they try to beat you across the head with saying like, "Oh man, this is the white man's book," and all this stuff. When the truth of the truth of it is that the Bible itself was in Africa well before it was in Europe. Literally, the biblical patriarchs, the land of Canaan is in Africa. The Egypt is in Africa. All of this stuff was all this whole region of area. Like the people, like when you break down the table of nations and you go see where these people were from, you had after the flood, you had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Japheth was the father of the European nations. He went north into the northern parts they call the Isles of the Gentiles. Then in the Shemitic areas, you had the people that stayed like in the Middle Eastern areas, and then you had the people going down towards Africa. Um, Good job, good job. Okay, I'll be right there. But yeah, but to answer your question though, when it comes to slavery, I put it in the chat. Josh did a class a while ago because people always bring this up, and we always had the understanding of this was that it's called American slavery versus biblical slavery, right? And people would always ask this question because that was always the issue that they had. Like, man, the Bible supports slavery, this, that, and the third. You hear a lot of like big time people like they're going major like TV shows and stuff and trying to bring these arguments, and they're terrible. All you gotta do is read your Bible for like 5 minutes and go like into the context of what it's actually saying, and you can see that these are completely different. But in this lesson, and I put it in the chat, and I may have to put it. All you do is go on Josh's YouTube page and just scroll down a little bit. It's not even too many. It may be like 10 or 12 videos down, and you'll see it. You can't miss it. But it was so good. It's well outlined, and he takes you detail to detail and comparing what American slavery was, which, if we're being honest, it really didn't last that long. When you talk about the slavery that's still going on in Africa today, that's been going on forever, the slavery under the Ottoman Empire, the slavery that went on in Europe with the Slavs, where we get our word slave from anyway, and slavery is just one of those terrible things that's been going on throughout the history of mankind. But when we read it in the Bible, it's not. It's nowhere near the same thing. It's not even close. Like you weren't allowed to mistreat a slave. At a certain point, you had to, excuse me, had to let them go. Like there are certain
Like if
way
you
things that.
if you were to like to get mad at one of your slaves and like punch them or hit them,
Yeah.
you had to let them go. Like if they like
Right.
lost a tooth, like from you striking them or something, they you had to let them go. You know what I mean?
Right. You essentially had to treat them like they were a genuine member of your family. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And sorry, I'm getting over a little cold. But yeah, you literally had to treat them like they were a member of your family. You couldn't mistreat them at all. And so when you hear people bringing up excuse me, arguments like that, it's really bad. It just shows that they have an ignorance of actually what the text is actually saying. Which, and I'm glad that you're here now trying to like let me go get an answer to this instead of just like taking somebody's word for it. Because like on the surface level, it does sound right. It sounds like wow. That does kind of make kind of sense. Like it does say the word
What's that?
slavery or what it actually means.
What's that verse,
Yeah.
brother, that you were talking about? Is Ephesians 6
It,
what?
it, I don't know this specific. I don't remember this specific. I know it
He's
was
talking about
Ephesians.
it.
It was Ephesians 6:5. That's what it was.
Yep.
Well, let's see. Let me pull this up real quick. So Ephesians 6:9.
But he just pulled up like a screenshot of 6:5. Like showed it to me. Like
Nah, right here. And ye
This just
masters.
says servants.
Okay, servants, be obedient to them that are masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling in singleness of your heart, as unto Christ, not with eye service or man pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will, doing service as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And you masters, do the same things unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him. So let's read this one in the CEV. Let's see how that reads. Slave owners, you must treat your slaves with this same respect. Don't threaten them, They have the same master in heaven that you do, and he doesn't have any favors. So my question to you is, you know what I mean? Who talks to slave masters and say, show the same respect that we told your servants to show you?
Yeah, he didn't pull up that part. He ain't pull
Right,
up that part.
Of course he's not gonna.
right,
Of course he's not gonna pull up that part.
right. And he's not going to give you the historical context behind that stuff. Like this is talking about people that that work for people, and it's just like because automatically your mind is going to get triggered to American chattel slavery immediately once you hear servant or master or something. Automatically, that's what your mind is going to go
Well,
to.
and that's true though. But like even because like I grew up like in a crazy like my father's Muslim, my mom was Christian, and then like my older cousins were into the Hebrew Israelite stuff, and like they were like the I think it's in Deuteronomy when he says he'll bring them into captivity again or into Egypt again on ships. Like
Deuteronomy 28:68. Yep.
yeah, and like they oh that's talking about us and all like I like just crazy things, but it's always like I notice it's always like they'll take a chapter and take one verse and they run with it. But like even what you guys just showed me, that was never brought up. It was just that one
So
slaves obey your
what does
earthly
that say to
master.
you going into the future?
Oh well, I definitely like I said, I always tiptoed, but like I'm not gonna lie, when I seen you like go like full blown like into it, I was like, you know what, let me see what's going on in this Discord, and I sat in on a few lessons and stuff, and I was like, it piqued my interest. It definitely. So now I'm actually starting to look into it, sitting in lessons and
Yeah, I mean,
stuff like.
for my white audience, you guys aren't gonna really have too much of this, but like to the black people in the audience, the more you get into the Bible, you're gonna have people like the Kemetic people. They're gonna be trying to take you. Oh, we need to go back to our roots in Africa. The Egyptian gods and da 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 da. But man, bro, a lot of that stuff, bro. They find stuff on Twitter and Facebook, find the screenshot, and they just run with it and make their own lore to it. So what I would say
Yeah.
is, whenever you guys see stuff like they'll say Osiris, I think they would say Osiris was born of a virgin, and that was 2,000 years before Christ was even born. Da 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 da. When Osiris wasn't even born of a virgin, like when you really look into it. So like the basis that I'm trying to get at is when people bring this stuff up to you guys, and this is for everybody, make sure y'all do y'all research. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not faulting you, Breezy, but imagine if when he said that right there, it's like, oh, let's go to it and let's see what it's talking about. And imagine you just read down and you got to that verse 9 and read that to him. Imagine with the look on his face. Like, what do you think he probably would have said?
He probably been stuck. He wouldn't know what to say.
Exactly. Because they're only going to find the stuff that they want to show you.
Right, and JiDion, you're right too as well. Like when especially and like you said, especially to like the black audience, like a lot of times you got to be aware because people, especially in those conscious communities, like I said, I call them one fish, two fish. I don't know if anybody's ever seen "Don't Be a Menace to Society While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood."
Yeah.
There's a scene. You seen that scene when he went into the into the jail, and the dude was talking to him. He came in there with like the Muslim dude that was like cooking the bacon on the thing. He was like,
Yeah.
brother, brother, brother. He was like, I am Muhammad Ali Shaeed, and he was like, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, knick knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. And so ever since, we always joke that a lot of these people, like especially from these comedic groups and stuff like that, that's what kind of scholarship that they. That's a level of scholarship that they do. It's like it's laughable some of the stuff, like what JiDion was saying about Osiris and Horus and all of this stuff. So what they try to do is they try to make you appeal to your ethnicity or your race or your skin color, and to try to make you feel like a victim and say, "Oh man, see, brother, they lying to you, man. This, that, and the third." And if it may feel good to you, it make you feel important. The Israelites do the same thing a lot of times as well. They'll try to make you appeal to that type of stuff, like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm black, I'm important, I'm this, that, and the third."
That's
And
actually what drew me into that rabbit hole. With like,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it
it'll
drew
do
like,
it.
oh, you're the chosen people of God. Like
Yeah,
You
it'll
see,
get
that's what
you
all this
for
is
sure.
every
foretold,
It'll
and
get you,
that's
and
what
you got to be
every
it
group.
careful.
did.
That's how
It
they get
did.
such a loyal following, man. You know, when you tell someone that they're the chosen group, you know what I mean. What did Adolf Hitler tell the Aryans?
Aryan, yeah, they're the
That is
superior
true.
race and all
That
that
is
stuff.
true.
That's what they're telling. They'll buy into a hook, line, and sinker, and that's what they do. They do the same thing a lot of times to black people when it comes to that. Like, oh, this is for you. This is, you're this, that, and the third, or we really Africans, or this, and you got other groups saying like, no, we're the Aboriginal Americans. We're the original Americans here. We've been in this land this whole time, and that is so much stuff, man. All
Like
you
you'll
gotta do
have
is like,
people. They said that King James is black. Wait, have you
oh
guys
my
ever
god,
heard that? Like a lot of
yes,
Israelite groups, they'll
yes.
say
I
that King James is
I
black.
heard I heard that he was gay.
I mean, hey,
Yeah,
that's
some
probably
people say he
true.
was gay. Yeah, some people say he was gay, and some people say,
That's what I heard, and
Man, I've never
that
heard that. No, they do say that. They say
doesn't.
that King James is black, but it's so funny. Like they have this one picture. Let me see if I, let me see if I can find it, y'all. But one person that actually could actually be black. I haven't done too much research on it, but Beethoven. I've been reading up on that. There has been a lot of people saying that he was actually black. I don't know too much, but King James. Look at this is the picture they use. King James black. Because you gotta think about it like this, they gotta read the King James Bible, but it doesn't appeal to people if you say King James is there. It is, brother Jack put it in the chat for y'all.
Oh,
But yeah, this is the one picture they use.
that is crazy.
They use this one picture, right? But the funny thing about it, like you gotta type in King James black. You just type in King James. This is all the pictures, but this is the funny part about it. So if he's black, who else has to be black? His parents, right?
Well, yeah, his mom and dad,
So look, King James parents.
or one of them is.
Let's see what his parents looked like. Oh,
Oh wow.
yep, yeah, we got those are definitely some Negroes right there. Man, like bro, a lot of you guys you got this is the only King James I know.
Oh man.
Nah, man. But man, just make sure you do research, man. Like, people
Definitely,
will
I'm
hit you with stuff
definitely
where it's like
gonna-
you just don't know. And you just gotta be like, hey man, I don't know, but I'll look into it. Then when you look into it, you can figure out if it's some truth or it's a load of baloney.
All right, man. Definitely. I appreciate y'all, man.
This is
Definitely.
racist. Why did you say that? What Negro is not a racist term. That is the term that they were called back in the 60s. It wasn't even that long ago when they called us Negroes. What's racist about, bruh? Hey man,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Everything's triggering these days. I do want to say though, JiDion, definitely keep up what you're doing, man. And just all these haters out here, bro. They just scared. Bro. They see that you came to this side of the YouTube world, and they like, oh, we in trouble now. He about to take over. That's all that is, man.
Praise
But
God, man. Hey, show your homie
For
that
real.
verse and let me know what he
definitely
said. I'm gonna add you. Let me know what he said.
Send them that class too.
I definitely am.
Praise God, man. You be safe.
All right, man.